The 2018 NBA Draft. When you look at this draft class, there's talent from top to bottom. This is one of the more stacked and star-studded drafts of recent history. I mean, this draft class legitimately has 20 guys who are either superstars, stars, or very good role players. And you really can't say that for any other draft classes in recent history. And in my opinion, when it's all said and done, this could go down as a top 5 draft class. So obviously this is a stacked draft. But today we'll be fixing this draft class. And we'll be doing this based off of talent, career trajectory, and health. So let's get this video started. Now, if you're new to the channel and you've never seen my videos before, make sure you stick around to the very end. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. Now, the first pick of the 2018 NBA draft is obviously no other than Luka Doncic. I mean, this is obviously a no-brainer. He's the best player in this draft and has accomplished the most. And I really don't think I need to explain furthermore. Now, literally the only question with this pick is how he would fit with that Suns team in 2018. I mean, would he still break out to the extent that he did? And will his playstyle be the same? And my answer is yes. Looking at that team, he would obviously be the best playmaker by far. And Devin Booker would obviously play off the ball. He's obviously very capable of playing off the ball and does it at a high level. He does it now and he's been doing it. And when the team needs him to be, then he can be that on-ball scorer. But in this system where Luka is the main playmaker and ball handler, I think that him playing off the ball is perfect. I mean, just look at the system they run with Chris Paul now. If you don't think Luka can replace Chris Paul in this system and do even more, then you're crazy. So that's why I feel like he would fit on that team back then. But I don't think that I need to explain anymore. This is obviously a no-brainer. And now moving on to the second pick of the draft is another no-brainer, and that is Trae Young. And Trae Young goes to the Kings. Now this one, like I said, is another no-brainer. I mean, Trae Young is easily one of the best guards in the league and is easily the second best player in this draft. Now with this pick, the fit is more in question now, because now you have two ball dominant point guards who aren't really known for playing off the ball that much. But I think that it will work. But I don't think that Trae Young would have broken out the way that he did. And I don't think that he will have the same play style. And I say that because De'Aaron Fox was already the established point guard in Sacramento, and I don't think that they would give the keys to Trae Young just yet. So Trae Young would have to play off the ball and be the scorer and not the facilitator and main ball handler. Now obviously with that, Trae's ceiling is getting lowered, but I think that his floor raises, because he's obviously more than capable of being an off-ball shooter, but he just won't be the playmaker and main facilitator. Now obviously I would rather have Trae Young facilitating an offense more than De'Aaron Fox, but I just think that De'Aaron Fox on the ball facilitating and having Trae Young off the ball just works better. So that's why I have Trae Young at number 2. And with the third pick in the draft, the Hawks are taking Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Now obviously if you're the Hawks, you lose out on Trae Young, but getting Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in return is great. I mean, Shai is easily the third best scorer on this list and also the third best player on this list, and has one of the highest ceilings as well. And the Hawks this year obviously needed a number 1 guy, and Shai is more than capable of being that. Now obviously he's not the passer or playmaker that Trae Young is, but he's still not bad at those aspects, and he's a better playmaker than people give him credit for. And not saying that he's a good defender, but him being 6'6" makes him less of a liability. And with the Hawks hiring Nate McMillan 2 years later, I think that that would have helped with Shai's defensive potential. I mean, with him being 6'6" and him having all the physical tools that he has, if you put a defensive-minded head coach around him with the right mindset, then he could be a great defender. And I don't think that's too crazy to say. So like I said, losing out on Trae Young but getting Shai Gilgeous-Alexander back in return isn't that bad. Now, not saying that Trae Young isn't better than Shai, but with them having a similar playstyle, I think that Shai would strive in that Hawks system. And that's who the Hawks take with the third pick in the draft. Now with the fourth pick in the draft, the Grizzlies take DeAndre Ayton. I think that this will be one of the best fits on this list, because when you look at that 2018 Grizzlies team, it was obvious that they needed a big man. And if you look at DeAndre Ayton coming out of college, he was obviously that. He was a big man who had length and size. He was athletic, he could rebound, he could run the pick and roll well, and he was a pretty good shot blocker. I think back then a Mike Conley and DeAndre Ayton pick and roll would have been very effective. For most of Mike Conley's career, he ran the pick and pop and pick and roll the most with Marc Gasol. And I think that if you replace Marc Gasol with DeAndre Ayton in that pick and roll / pick and pop, then DeAndre Ayton could do the same thing, if not more. He's more athletic, so he's more of a lob threat. And if you wanted to run the pick and pop with him, then you could. He may not be the three-point shooter that Marc Gasol was, but he could definitely shoot the mid-range. In his rookie year, he shot 34% from mid-range, and that was only on 2 attempts. So I think that he's capable of being an effective mid-range shooter if he had more volume. So overall, I think that this is a good pick for the Grizzlies, and that's why I have DeAndre Ayton going to the Grizzlies. And now with the 5th pick, I've got the Mavs drafting Jaren Jackson Jr., and this is probably going to be one of the more controversial parts of the video. Now, yes, I did take DeAndre Ayton over Jaren Jackson, but I do believe that it's really close. They're both great scorers, and they both bring so much to their teams. Now, obviously, Jaren Jackson is exponentially the better defender, but I think that DeAndre Ayton is exponentially a better rebounder, and he's easily more efficient. DeAndre Ayton averages 10 rebounds while Jaren Jackson only averages 6. And DeAndre Ayton, while only taking 1 less attempt than Jaren Jackson, shoots 63% from the field, while Jaren Jackson only shoots 41% from the field. They're both high volume scorers, but DeAndre Ayton is way more efficient. And I don't think that Jaren Jackson's defensive ability closes the gap that much, when, like I said, DeAndre Ayton is the clear better rebounder and is more efficient than Jaren Jackson while only taking 1 less attempt. So that's why I took DeAndre Ayton over Jaren Jackson. But nonetheless, Jaren Jackson is still an extremely talented player, and he was when he came into the league. So that's why I have him drafted at number 5. Now with the 6th pick, I have the Orlando Magic taking Anthony Simons. Anthony Simons is a guy that I'm really high on. Seeing the potential that he has now and how much better he's gotten, I think that at 6, this is a gimme. While getting more opportunity this year, he's averaging 17 points on average efficiency. And if you put him on that Magic team who the following season made the playoffs, then I think that he could replicate the same thing. He's one of the best 3-point shot creators in the league. He has great size for his position. He's extremely athletic. And while he's not a great playmaker and passer, I still believe that he's getting better. And I feel like if you give him that opportunity right out of the gate with Orlando, then who knows how good he would have been by now. And that's who I have the Magic taking with the 6th pick. And with the 7th pick, I have the Bulls taking Mikal Bridges. Now, Mikal Bridges is one of my favorite players in the league, and I think that he's the best pure 3-and-D player in the league, and he's easily one of the most portable players in the league. I mean, putting him next to a guy like Zach LaVine is perfect. You're giving Zach LaVine a great off-ball shooter, while also giving him one of the best on-ball defenders in the league to take pressure off of him on the perimeter. So it's a perfect fit for Zach LaVine and the Bulls, and that's why I have Mikal Bridges going to the Bulls with the 7th pick. Now with the 8th pick in the draft, I have the Cavaliers drafting Robert Williams. Now with Robert Williams, you're getting one of the best interior defenders in the league, and he's one of the best lob threats as well. Now I don't know how much him going to the Bulls affects them getting Darius Garland in the next year, but assuming they do get Darius Garland in the next year, then that will be dangerous. I mean, just imagine a Darius Garland and Robert Williams pick and roll, and Robert Williams would be the clear defensive anchor for that team. And I think that playing Robert Williams right out of the gate would definitely boost his defensive potential and maybe even some parts of his offense. But this is who I have the Cavs drafting at number 8. Now with the 9th pick in the draft, I have the Knicks drafting Jalen Brunson. I think that this pick makes the most sense for the Knicks because Jalen Brunson is one of the best scorers on this list, and Jalen Brunson has shown that he can be a very effective second option, so I don't see why he wouldn't be able to elevate his game and become a first option, especially on a team like the Knicks, where on that roster the talent level was very low. So Jalen Brunson will come in and immediately become the first option. And obviously with Jalen Brunson being your first option, your team isn't going to go very far. But considering who's left, I don't think that is that bad of a pick. And that's who I have the Knicks drafting at number 9. And with the last pick of this video, I have the Philadelphia 76ers drafting Gary Trent Jr. Gary Trent is a guy who at times can be a very effective scorer. And not to mention he's a very good 3-point shooter and an above average perimeter defender. I mean, let's just say you insert Gary Trent Jr. into that lineup in 2019, and if you slide him into that lineup with Joel Embiid, Jimmy Butler, and Ben Simmons, then I think that that fits perfectly. I mean, yeah, JJ Redick was a way better shooter than Gary Trent was, but Gary Trent was still a very good 3-point shooter, and he was also a way better defender, so there really isn't a huge drop off. And that's who I have the 76ers picking with the 10th pick. And that is me fixing the 2018 NBA draft. Now, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. All of my social media links will be down below in the description. I really appreciate all the love and support I've been getting recently, and I want to keep this going. Streams will be coming on the way soon. More videos just like this on the way soon. And as always, I'm out. Peace.